Hello everyone, my name is Francesca Francois and I'm going to be speaking to you all about the environmental effects of obesity. Currently, obesity is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. Over the past 3 decades, it has become very prevalent, thus marking it as an epidemic. How have we come to this point and why we have come to this point are answers that we are all seeking to find. Within my presentation, I'm going to discuss the main points and some possible solutions to this growing epidemic. So let's get started. The facts. According to the CDC, obesity is defined as having a body mass index at or above the 95th percentile. Among Americans aged 20 or older, 149.3 million are overweight and obese. An adult who has a BMI of 24 to 29.9 is considered overweight, whereas an adult with a BMI of 30 or higher is considered obese. Body mass index is the measure of an adult's weight in relation to his or her height, specifically the adult's weight in kilograms divided by the square of his or her height in meters. I placed a difference on this slide between being overweight and obese because I wanted to make a point. Several people believe that being obese and overweight can be used interchangeably. However, that is wrong. There's a big difference. Being obese means that your body stores way more fat than if you were just overweight, and the greater your BMI, the greater at risk you are for future illnesses such as cardiovascular disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and hypertension, things of that nature. On slide 3, I was able to get some maps from the CDC, and it's talking about the surveillance and rates of obesity throughout the past 3 decades. As you can see, in the 1990s, across the board, we had rates that were mostly in the 10 to 14% bracket for obesity. 8 years later, 1998, almost half of the states have increased to the 15 to 19% bracket. And in 2000, 2 years later, we are to the 20 to 24% bracket. And in 2009, exactly, we are in most of the states are in the 25 to 29 percentile. This is really alarming because, as you can see, especially in Florida specifically, we have tripled and we have moved across this color spectrum for the worse. I mean, this last graph was in 2009. Probably in 2012, we will be in the 30 or higher, which means that you would be considered morbidly obese if we don't continue to take actions to decrease this growing epidemic. Next, some environmental factors that I'm going to talk about are sedentary lifestyle, poor diet, cultural beliefs, and the fear of racial harassment. At the end of the slide, you can see that I put lack of education. I believe that all these factors can be attributed to a lack of education. So through more teaching and through more awareness, we can help decrease these growing numbers. Sedentary lifestyles, more cars, change in recreational pastimes, and the built environment. Promotion of physical activity. Physical inactivity and unhealthy diets are the cause of well over 300,000 American deaths each year. Technology has allowed us to become lazy. Things such as video games, washing machines in our homes, elevators, escalators. A lot of these built environments have caused us to become more and more lazy and decide, hey, why not go the easy route and not actually take initiative and become more physical. A lot more people now own cars, and instead of parking farther away, we decide to, fight for that really close parking space, so we won't have to walk those extra couple of steps. So things like this are what have caused us to become obese right now. The USDA recommends at least 60 minutes of moderate physical activity a day to prevent weight gain, and a majority of us aren't even getting 10 minutes, and that's really sad. We need some solutions to this. Would be implementing more parks, implementing more bike routes, creating a workout facility in some of these big time corporations, because their workers, by the time they get off work, some can't afford it, and some won't even have the time in their perspective to go to a gym. So if we implement these facilities within the work site facility, maybe this would help them lose more weight or maintain the weight they're currently at. Next, I put a little comment clip that you can check out on your own later on. Next, now we're going to talk about poor diet. I know you guys have heard about food deserts and man versus food. As you can see with these pictures, I've inserted some of them here. But America's Western diet has a huge influence not only on us, but on other countries as well, such as Japan, South Korea, Europe, and France. And at this point in time, you know, there's a need for change, because if we're not only influencing our lives and hindering our lives in increasing longevity, but we're also hurting the other countries around us. Our succulent hamburgers, delectable fried foods, salty snacks, irresistible high corn fructose syrups account for at least 30% of heart attack risk. The CDC defines food deserts as areas that lack access to affordable fruits, vegetables, whole foods, low-fat milk, and other foods that make up the full range of a healthy diet. Limited access and high costs are usually what most people contribute to not being able to consume most of these healthy alternatives. However, here's an example. McDonald's has the 49-cent hamburger or the 59-cent cheeseburger. However, they also have on their dollar menu the dollar parfait or the side salad. And these other options, though they do cost a little bit more, will be able to provide more nutrients and hold more within your body at that time, as opposed to this 49-cent hamburger that is also, by the way, high in fat and high in sodium, ultimately, again, leading to obesity, or weight gain, I should say. Vending machines. Almost everywhere we go, within the schools, within work facilities, there are vending machines. If we make progress into changing what's in the machines, as opposed to chips and sugary drinks, you know, we can add more water, more sports drinks. We can have, instead of candy bars, we can have whole grain Nutri-Grain bars or whole grain snacks, as opposed to the sugary snacks and candies and the honey buns and things of that nature. So that's an idea, that these food vendors, we can make contracts with these food vendors to be able to get healthier snacks on the premises. Next, culture belief / racial harassment. That's another factor that some people attribute to why they gained weight. In some communities, weight is associated with wealth, and weight is also associated with love. For example, I know, my grandma likes to cook a lot of food, and she feels like, the plumper you are, the better you are, and that's a form of her expressing how much she loves you through you eating her food. But, over time I had to be like, okay, grandma, there's a certain portion that I can eat, that'll help me maintain healthy. Don't get me wrong, I still love your food, but, it's just all in moderation, and the portion size actually does make a big difference. A lot of people also within some of the other cultures associate weight gain with wealth. The more you can eat, the bigger you are, meaning more money you have, because you guys can afford to buy all this food. Some stats within the Caucasian community, they are currently 64.9% obese. Blacks, African Americans are 88% obese, and Hispanics are 74.8% obese. Mostly within the African American and Hispanic communities, individuals may be ostracized for wanting to lose weight, but we have to be able to cut down on these negative stigmas with losing weight. Next, I'm going to talk about strengthening. Overall, we just want to be able to strengthen the nutrition and lifestyle education. The more you know, the more you be able to increase your vegetable and fruit intake. And we plan on doing this by having menu planning, teaching people what foods to buy, teaching them how to plan these special, because some people don't even know how to plan, how to eat vegetables, or how to cook which kinds of vegetables. So that'll be something to take into account. Also, incorporating more calcium-rich foods for bone density, beans and whole grains, things of that nature. Resources. Currently, obesity is costing America $147 billion per year in direct medical costs. This accounts for 10% of our nation's healthcare expenditures. Healthy eating is important for proper growth and development. It can prevent health problems, which in turn will obviously reduce spending. This should be a team effort. If we all get together with the legislators, we have the school boards, the governments. We already have Lady Michelle Obama, who has this Let's Move campaign. The more and more we come together and become in sync to attack this growing epidemic, the better results we'll have. Next, I want to talk about something that is really, really sad and dear to my heart that's going on, and it's childhood obesity. some stats: almost 1/3 of children in the U.S. over the age of 2 are considered overweight or obese. And this is something that is really fairly new, because in the past decades it was unheard of. These are diseases that, type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease, that were mostly in the elderly community, and now they're in our upcoming generation. Today, 70% of obese children 5 to 17 years old had at least one risk factor for cardiovascular disease. 26.4 teens in Miami-Dade County were considered obese in 2009. Our goal is to include more salad bars within the school systems, increase parent involvement. The parents are mostly the role models, and they're the ones who can, kind of mold. If the children see the parents doing it, they'll more likely want to do it as well. Or vice versa. If the children learn it in school, they can come home and teach that parent who works, an 8-hour, 12-hour shift, the benefits of working out a little, or taking a walk around the neighborhood, and or eating, a salad at night as opposed to going to a fast food restaurant. Also, church involvement could help with getting the point across to some of those people who live in urban communities that hold their church to a high standard. Increasing the learning the benefits of eating better, and finding ways to keep the cost of healthier snacks below the cost of the unhealthy ones should help with this growing epidemic. How we feel it will benefit the schools: better nutrition will ultimately lead to more brain function, better memory, better blood circulation. Students will become more attentive and want to learn more. Also, in the beginning, I spoke a little bit about Michelle Obama's campaign, Let's Move, and she was able to make contracts with companies to have the beverages, remove some of their additive sugars, some of the food manufacturers, and even Walmart, one of the country's largest retailers, to cut levels of their fat, salt, and sugar. So that's a growing campaign that's going on. It's a year old now, but we're hoping that we'll be able to progress, and this will make a lot of changes in our community. Last but not least, I'll leave you all with a quote. And Benjamin Franklin once said, "An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure." Overall, we're leading as public health students. We solely believe in prevention, and although there are a lot of people who don't know the benefits of prevention, and they don't like to be able to attack situations until they occur to them, we want to be out there being on the forefront, teaching these people the benefits of learning how to incorporate diets, drinking more water, increasing their physical activities, and also speak to the communities, the people in charge, to help with the built environments, help them, create more sidewalks, try to reduce crime, help with the street lights, have them on at night, build more parks, things of that nature. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you very much.